Welcome to Point and Drink Adventure, a podcast where Pam and myself talk about the drinks and media we consume. Hi, Pam.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm excellent. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I feel pretty good today. Yeah, it's a pretty good Sunday.
That's good. It is a nice Sunday. Yeah, kind of chill. Just like went out to the farmer's market, rolled Lily around in her little wagon, played some games, did some streaming.
Yeah, I was watching some of your stream earlier. That game looks super cute. What was it called again?
Broken Sword.
Broken Sword. Yeah, that looks cute.
Yeah.
Reminds me of like what is his name? Bluth?
Don Bluth.
Don Bluth. Or like that kind of animation and such. Really cute.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely that style.
But what are we drinking today, Pam?
We're drinking a crop top.
I know. Crop top. I'm actually wearing a crop top today too. But, you know, you can't really see it because I have the camera so close or whatever. Crop top is not a classic cocktail, but it's in my cocktail book. So that counts.
Yeah.
What is in a crop top? I actually upped it. Like I put on our little list thing 3/4 of everything. I'm like, why didn't I just put 1 ounce of everything? If it's equal parts of everything, that just makes more sense, right?
Right. I basically did 1 of everything anyway. So
Yeah. I put 1 of everything. So 1 ounce of gin, 1 ounce of Amaro, 1 ounce of grapefruit. The recipe calls for Pompaloose, which is like a grapefruit liqueur, but nobody got time for that. So we're just using grapefruit. And 1 ounce of lemon. And voila. What do you think of it?
It's really good. It's very refreshing with the grapefruit. So it's very citrusy. I like the Amaro in it. I wasn't sure because gin and grapefruit is like delicious. And then Amaro gives it a different sort of flavor profile, like a little bit of sweetness, a little bit of bitterness. So it's nice.
Yeah, I like it. Like it's still bright and refreshing, lots of citrus, but not too cloying or bitter. It's like a nice balance.
Yeah.
It does feel a little bit, I feel a little bit of bitterness to it. Like I could probably use maybe a little bit of simple syrup, but again, nobody got time for that because we don't need that in our lives. I think it's perfect the way it is.
I think so.
And we have ridiculous garnishes to boot.
Yes, I already ate my cherry before we started the podcast. So.
I should have put it.
I also just got a new ice cube tray. Nespresso, every summer they have like ice cube trays and stuff. And this one was so cute. They're like little short rectangular ice cubes, but then the edges are all like squiggly. Like
really?
They're all like pointy edges. So it kind of reminds me of these glasses because it's just like rough edges. It's neat.
Oh, cute! I need more fun I need more fun ice cubes. Like I have the ones that are like the bulbous, like or one big circle.
Yeah.
And that's it. Like boring ice cube maker just makes basic bitch ice cubes. But I need more fun ones, like the stupid stick ones to put in like highball glasses or something, like to make it. I don't know, be stupid.
Yes. So is this drink from anywhere or?
Well, I was going to say, like, I don't really have a fun story for this. I just like was like, well, I asked Pam, I was like, okay, what kind of stuff do you have in your bar? And she told me, and I was like, okay, well, looking through my cocktail book, I was like, I remember making a crop top on stream once before, not on stream, but for a stream. And I was like, ooh, I'm Pam. I got to make Pam try this. This is really good. I love this drink. And then when you mentioned all the alcohol that you have, I was like, let's just try a crop top, like, because it's not only we both love crop tops in life in general, and I don't know why this cocktail is named a crop top. It's like kind of a variation of the last word, which is a classic variation of cocktail, but it has like chartreuse in it. No chartreuse here because again, who's got time for that? Because those bottles are like $50 for this tiny little thing, and I don't think so. But yeah, there's no real fun story to this besides this is just a nice, simple to make, fun named cocktail. And that's all you really need in life, right?
Exactly. Well, it's delicious.
I love it. I've already pre-made one. put it all together in a cup so it's easy to make in between, and it's already going to be gone soon. So
yeah, I for some reason didn't do it this time. I don't have a juicer, so I have just been squeezing grapefruits and lemons.
Pam, we got to get you a juicer. I live by my juicer. Oh my god.
I know. I think I'll have one soon. So but yeah, so I've just been squeezing it. So like I got tired, and so I only squeezed 1 ounce of lemon. So like I'll do it again when I need to remix.
Well, by then it was like we don't even care anyways, and it's just fine. Like you just like get what you get.
Yeah.
Well, Pam has been crushing it in all aspects of media. I literally put another thing on there today because I was like, I'll talk about it because I've been watching a lot of it. But Pam, what have you been watching? It's the summer. It's not October. Why are you watching all these scary movies?
That's a good question. I think I just got Shudder. Like I added the Shudder to my Amazon Prime because they're connected here. So I had access to some things that I didn't have before. So the first thing I watched is Late Night with the Devil. And this is a pretty new one. I think this came out last year, and it sort of takes place in the 70s, and the sort of wrapper around it is that this is a documentary made about this man who did this late night show and sort of like his rise and fall. And so it goes to a bit of a story about him, and then his sort of downfall after his wife dies, and then he's trying to get ratings back up around Halloween, so he decides he's going to do these spooky episodes. So one of the spooky things is a girl who was in a cult who can apparently speak to demons. So there's just all of these spooky people on the show, and it's just showing how that ends up going for everyone involved.
I bet it doesn't end up going well, does it?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't go super well. But it was really cool. Like I loved the very 70s aesthetic of it. All of the effects, or at least most of the effects, were really practical, so they were really cool effects. Yeah.
I love practical effects. I prefer that more so over anything else. Did it feel like a late night TV show as well? Like since it's like about like did like an episode, like they show an episode like it's like a late night versus like a movie? I don't know. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it was kind of like a behind the scenes thing. So it did feel like the show. So he'd come out and he'd banter with the band leader, and then he'd talk to the guests, but then you'd also see some like when they're on commercial break, what's going on the set. So
cool. So you liked it? It's good?
Yeah, it was cool. Yeah, I liked it a lot. Yeah, it was really fun.
Yay. Fun.
Yeah. What have you been watching?
We watched this after the last podcast.
After we recorded last time.
Yeah, because Pam, I'm pretty sure it was that episode no, this has been a while ago. I got the vinyl for this movie, The Warriors. And Pam had mentioned she'd never seen The Warriors before. I was like, what? Come on, that's a fun one. Let's have a couple drinks and watch that one. And so we watched The Warriors after our last recording. And The Warriors is a 1979, I think it is. I'm going to mess up his name. If I mess up his name, I'm going to put it correctly. Walter Hill movie, who also directed like 48 Hours with Eddie Murphy and Nick Nolte, which I did not know. Because a lot of the same people are in that movie as well as this one. So it's about, we're going to call this like it's fake New York, where gangs dress up fabulously in like their cute little outfits. Like we've got the disco band and the disco gang. We've got the baseball hockey uniform-ish looking gang. We've got ones who dress like they're in kung fu. Like it's amazing. Every like couple streets there's a new gang, and they all dress the same because that's how you know who you are, right? I guess. Yeah. And so they have this big gathering because Cyrus, who is the leader of the biggest gang in New York, wants to have everybody stop fighting over, what is it, your 5 feet of pavement or ground or whatever, and come together because they outnumber the New York City police and they want to take over the city. And unfortunately, so very famously, Cyrus goes, "Can you dig it?
Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Can you dig it?"
You know, hyping up the troops. And unfortunately, I mean, this is like the first 5 minutes, so it's not a spoiler. He gets killed during the meeting, and then everybody runs away. And the warriors, the group from Coney Island, gets blamed for his murder. So then all the gangs are chasing after them as they try to book it all the way back to Coney Island that night. So that's the movie. It's fabulous. I love it. I love the soundtrack of it. I think it's very fun, very 70s, very kind of interesting take on gang culture, I guess. But there's like the fabulous outfits. But what did you think of this movie, Pam? Tell me honestly. It's okay if you didn't like it.
I thought it was fun. Like, I really liked the soundtrack. I really liked all of the costumes. Like, I loved seeing like all of the different gangs because there were so many of them. And so seeing like the girl gang and just, you know, all of the various costumes of it, I thought that was the most fun part. I found the actual, you know, story and everything. I was like, okay, it's fine.
It's pretty basic. We're just running back. What one guy says, like, it's like 100 miles. I'm like, dude, New York City is not 100 miles. It's more like 5, but it's fine.
Yeah, I did like a lot of the sort of how it was done. So this guy also did Streets of Fire, which I watched, I think, last year. And that one is more musically, but it's the same kind of thing where it's got this very kind of false feeling city. Like, it's supposed to be this gritty real city, but it feels very like, it almost feels like a set. Like, it's just like smoke and, you know, billowing everywhere and things. So I like the kind of just style of it a lot. Yeah.
But the actual movie is just like, meh.
Yeah.
That's
exactly.
what I mean. I think the style and the essence of the movie pushes it forward, at least for me, because honestly, that's the movie. Like,
yeah,
it's
the
exactly. music and the ridiculousness and the outfits just freaking loved it.
Yeah.
What else have you been watching?
So I also watched a Nymphomaniac,
All
which
of
is
them?
by Volume 1 and 2.
Okay.
Yeah,
I thought there was 3. Oh, my bad.
No, it's just the 2.
Okay.
So this is by Lars von Trier. It's from 2013, I think. So yeah, it's 2 volumes. I think it's about a 4.5-hour movie. There's also apparently a director's cut, which is an hour longer. We did not watch the director's cut. We just watched the theatrical cut. And it's about this woman who she's found by this man, and it's Bill Skarsgård, the older Skarsgård.
Alexander Skarsgård?
Yeah. no, like the older, like the dad
Stellan Skarsgård?
Stellan. I don't even know if that's their dad. I think there's a lot of Skarsgårds.
There is, but I think the dad is Stellan. It's the dad, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he finds this woman, what's her name? I don't remember. I should have looked it up. Charlotte Gainsbourg.
Oh.
And she's been beaten, and he finds her in the street. And it's also got like this real artificial look to this street. Like, it completely looks like a set, and it's kind of interesting. And so he takes her to his house, and she starts telling her life story about how she's a nymphomaniac and how that went like all the way from her being a child, discovering herself, to a teenager, and then up into adult years. And all the time he's kind of relating to her in strange ways. Like, she starts talking about, and he's like, oh, well, I like fly fishing, and this is how your story about having who you want to have sex with relates to fly fishing and flies. And it just sort of just makes these strange relations. So it's all about them just sort of sharing their stories. And part 1 was really good. It was surprisingly funny. It was really interesting. There was this amazing scene with Uma Thurman and Charlotte. Well, it wasn't Charlotte Gainsborough yet because she's played by a younger actress at first. Is sleeping with this man, and he's like, "Oh, I want to see you more," and she's all like, "No, I love you too much, and I can't share you with your wife anymore. No, just you need to go." And then he comes back, and he's like, "I left my wife for you." And she's like, "Oh, fuck." But for some reason, she doesn't, just tell him that, because the reason she wanted to leave because she was having another guy come over like right after that. But then after the guy stays with her, then Uma Thurman and their children come to the house, and they're just like, "I just wanted to give the boys a chance to say goodbye and see who Daddy's left us for. Come, children, let's see the bed where the magic happens." Like, it's just the most horrendously awkward, hilarious thing ever.
Oh my God, what a move! Oh, I love her. Oh my God.
Yeah. It's really good. It's got this really good cast that Dylan kept pointing out, like, everyone's American. Like, everyone has an English accent, but they're all Americans. Like, Christian Slater's in it as her dad. And so I really liked part 1. And then part 2, as Lars von Trier is wont to do, just gets, like,
weird,
dark, and then darker, and then darker. And, like, it eventually got just kind of uncomfortable, and I found like the last quarter of the movie, I was like, I'm not even sure why this is in here. But so some of it I still liked, but I definitely felt it kind of took a nosedive in the second half of the movie. But the first half I really enjoyed.
Well, that's fun. So just watch the first half and just call that the movie and call it a day, and then
I
just
guess
forget about
so.
the second.
Yeah, just forget about the second half. Yeah, I don't know that it ends very satisfyingly at the end of the first part, but I mean, yeah, I really liked Volume 1.
Sometimes I don't need, especially like a movie, because you know what you're going to get into with a Lars von Trier kind of movie. I don't really need a satisfying ending per se for movies. Like, I kind of like it if it's either left up to interpretation and or like you don't get that closure that you kind of crave, because then you crave it and you're just like, why didn't you give it to me? It's okay to have those feelings, and I kind of like that. So
and then you can wonder what happened and not be disappointed by what actually happens.
Yes, have it in my mind. I'm like, well, in my mind, this is how it's going to be, and that's just canon.
Exactly. But it was strange.
Not surprising coming out of, although I haven't seen too many Lars von Trier movies previously. Besides, isn't Dancer in the Dark Lars von Trier? I think that is. Yeah, that one. Maybe Melancholia. Is that one?
Yeah, that's him.
That's a weird one.
Also, yeah, that's also a strange one. The other one I saw was I think called Dogville. With Nicole Kidman, and it's weird because there are no sets. It's like on a stage or in a warehouse, and they've just got like tape down to show where houses are. Like, it's very strange.
Whoa.
Yeah.
The man is wild. Good for him though, making different kinds of movies. Like, I love that. Like, it doesn't have to be the same cookie cutter bullshit and such. Like, make something absolutely wild and makes you think, but totally understand, because 4.5 hours is way too long. Because what do we believe, Pam? Movies need to be shorter.
Shorter. Yep. They need to be shorter.
That's fun.
What else did you watch?
I watched an oldie but goodie. I've seen this movie a lot, but I was just like craving, because in the last episode I watched Oppenheimer. So I was like, well, now that I watch Oppenheimer, let's watch a really good nuclear bomb movie. So I watched Stanley Kubrick's Dr. Strangelove, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb. Have you seen this movie, Pam?
Nope.
Oh my God. This is one of Stanley Kubrick's, I guess, few comedies that he did. Because I'm thinking about his filmography. I don't think he did very many comedies. But so pretty much what this movie is about is during the Cold War, which this movie is set in as well as filmed. It's his last black and white movie. I think this was mid-60s he filmed this. So in the height of the Cold War, what if some psycho general who has the keys and ability to drop nuclear bombs does? Mm-hmm. What kind of stupidity would lead to that? And how it would have, and what, the levels of stupidity in the government that made the decisions that allow this to happen, as well as like other political things that could go on. So really it's about the crazy general and his sort of like not his secretary, but his like he's a British not consort. He's a British dude in the military working with him who's trying to reason with crazy general. And then you have the president and a big general who's played by George C. Scott, who's just comically over the top. And and as well as the plane that is set to drop the bomb. So you've got like pretty much 3 big sets here. Peter Sellers plays 3 different characters in the movie, who's very well known for doing like the Pink Panther and such, and he loves to do different characters, and he plays the British guy, the president, as well as a German scientist, an ex-Nazi scientist who's been memed like 1,000 times. But this movie is very kind of like dark comedy, very kind of political driven, but just hilarious at the stupidity and of this. And then the first like 2 seconds, there's like rolling text saying like, the government has confirmed things like this could not actually happen. So don't take this seriously. But it's a movie. So yeah, I love this movie. The people are so stupid. And it really resonates on how like you perceive government today. There's the stupidity of decisions and stuff, and what kind of repercussions that will take down the road. So highly recommend for a dark, stupid. It's only an hour and a half. That's it.
Oh, nice.
Yes, it's an hour and a half.
That one's been on my watch list for like ever, and I don't know, somehow I've just never gotten around to watching it. But
guess what we're watching after this podcast, Pam? We'll get Dylan in here because he hates Stanley Kubrick, and
I know. Except Eyes Wide Shut.
That's the one I haven't seen yet. I've seen most of his. I didn't see the first one. It's like The Killing, I think, is one of his first movies, and then Eyes Wide Shut, I think, are the only 2 I haven't seen of his. But I like Stanley Kubrick. Do you like his movies?
Yeah. Generally, yeah.
Yeah. My favorite is Barry Lyndon. That's my favorite one of his.
I haven't seen that one.
It's a bit longer than this one. It's not an hour and a half. But it's real good. And the cinematography, it is great. Maybe I'll rewatch it and talk about it again in a podcast, because it's all done with candle lights. And
okay.
So it's the costume design and such is fabulous. Just like beautiful. It's like that one movie we watched with Michelle Pfeiffer, Glenn Close, Dangerous Liaisons. Remember or I watched it.
I think you watched that. I don't think I watched it.
Oh, never mind. That kind of setting though, just like the early 1700s or whatever, in that kind of style. Okay. So, but yeah, watch Dr. Strangelove. What else have you been watching?
So another one that we watched, did we watch it the same time as the Warriors, or maybe watch it a different week? I think it was a different day. Yeah. We watched The Witches of Eastwick, which is just 1987, directed by George Miller, who I was surprised at that. George Miller of Mad Max fame.
Yes, that's amazing. And of like, what was the Penguin movie?
Happy Feet.
Happy Feet. The man has done everything.
So this is about 3 women in a small New England town, and one day they get together and they're drinking, and they're kind of like manifesting or end up manifesting the perfect man, like the man that they're looking for. And then all of a sudden, this strange man just appears in the town, buys the biggest mansion, and he sort of seduces all of them. And just sort of about how that goes. And it's got an amazing cast. Jack Nicholson is the
perfect man.
It's got Cher, it's got Michelle Pfeiffer, it's got Susan Sarandon. And yeah, it's really interesting. I had seen it before. You had never seen it before.
I've never seen it before. And I love witches movies. So I was like, Pam, we have to watch this because I love witches and that portrayal in the media and such. But I remember saying to you when they were talking about their perfect man. I was like, wait a minute. Jack Nicholson is going to be the perfect man. That's who we're picking. That's what we're conjuring up here, ladies. Wow. Good for you.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Like, I love how well done. Like, I love these three beautiful women, and they're just like, once they get there, they're just like luxuriating in the pool, and they're eating cherries and things. And all the while, all this weird stuff is going around in town, especially when he doesn't get his way. And yeah, it's just fun. Like, it's kind of over the top. It can be quite like crude at times with the language. Like, it's very just like, they all know that they're all sleeping with him, and they seem fine with it. And he's very, forward about things and what he wants. And they are also, I love seeing Susan Sarandon, who starts it up very like buttoned up. She's a cellist.
Yeah.
Some orchestra. And she's, always got her glasses and her hair up. And then at the end of it, she's just got this flowing lion's mane of hair and
wearing her skimpy outfits now. They all look fucking fabulous, but the hair, the big poofy hair.
Yeah.
Oh, I want it.
Did you like it?
I loved it. I thought it was really fun. Though after we started watching it, I guess this is sort of spoiler. We're gonna just say spoiler. So as there's this one woman in town who's also like an alien, we found out. So that's another role that she did. But she's like, oh my God, there's just evil going on over there. There's just sex and evil and sex and evil. And I love her one line. It's like, I appreciate a good fuck, but come on. Like, but so she starts getting like weirdly possessed by the things that the three girls are doing with the help of Jack Nicholson. I think a lot of it inadvertently, because he's like, eat these cherries, and they're like, okay, and then she just throws up all the cherries, like the woman that they're possessing. But towards the end of the movie, she's got bless her husband's soul, because all he's doing is just trying to help her. And she's making a huge scene because she's possessed and going crazy at church. They go outside of the church. She's just like kind of haggard and just like over it, and she goes, somebody has to stop them. And then that was it. Like, they never go back to her. Like, the three women, like, the movie resolves over here. But it was like, wait a minute. I thought about this, like, after. It was like, whatever happened to that woman? Nothing.
Or her husband killed her.
Did he?
Yeah. When she was throwing up all the cherries in their house, and he got the fire poker. And then the next day, the cops were at their house.
Oh. How did I miss that? Never mind.
I don't know.
She died. She got so crazy that her husband killed her. Oh, bless his heart. Yeah. Oh, my God.
He was trying he was being so patient for so long.
So patient. And I didn't even realize he killed her. Oh. Go me. Anywho. I loved it. I thought it was fun. If not ridiculous, not the movie I expected at all. No. Not at all. I was expecting like real witchcrafty things. It's really just like a side hustle that they kind of do.
It's kind of a side thing. Like at the beginning, it's not even like they're doing some kind of ritual when they sort of manifest him. At the end, there's some witchcraft to get rid of him. But it's just mostly about these three women. And I love how that they kind of fight in the middle, but they're all kind of like together through the whole thing. I like that.
Yeah. BFFs forever.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well,
It was fun.
since that was a George Miller movie, I'll talk about the other George Miller movie I watched that I very haphazardly put this very last minute in here because I'm forgetful. I watched Furiosa, which is a sequel to Mad Max Fury Road. Hold on, throat. So, sequel to Mad Max Fury Road, Furiosa. So, Furiosa from the time she is like a child up until the events of Mad Max, which was like 15 years ago at this point, or 10, 12 years ago, that original movie, which is wild to me.
Is that really? Jesus.
Yeah, it's like from like 2012 or something. And I'm like, whoa, it's wild.
Wow.
Anywho, so Anna Taylor-Joy plays young Furiosa, and then they have some other younger kid playing her when she was younger. Chris Hemsworth, who's wearing a prosthetic nose, plays the big bad Dementist, Dementus, yeah. The Red Dementus, I think Red Dementus or something like that. He's like, starts off in like this biker gang, and he's trying to make his way up to be one of the lords of either Bullet Town, Gas Town, and he wants to get the place where Immortal Joe is, the sanctuary place. I forget what it's called in the movie, but you know, the one from the original movie. Anywho, so really it's about Furiosa seeking revenge out on Dementus, Chris Hemsworth character, and how she was taken out of the green place and her sort of transition into who she is today. That's really the movie. Again, like the first movie, very simple story. It felt a bit longer than the original. Well, the original was like one long chase sequence, right? Very simple story. We're trying to get out of here, get these women out of here, and then we come back to kick some ass. This one, again, simple story, less action driven, more, I guess, story driven. The action is still good when it's there. I think the action in the first one is better, honestly. I think there was more, not necessarily CGI, because there was CGI in the original, but more practicality, it felt like, versus this one, and less like, oh, that's cool kind of thing. You know, when you watch the original, you're like, oh, wow, that's fun. Like, there's some ridiculousness for sure, but overall, I didn't think it was a terrible movie. I thought it was fine. I don't think it needed to bomb at the box office. I don't know why it bombed at the box office, but made it so it streamed faster, and that's good for me because I don't like going to movies very much. They suck.
Oh, was it already on streaming?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I paid to watch it on Amazon Prime or whatever, you know, but I'd rather pay the $20 to get it on streaming than go to the movie theater and pay $40. So, and be in some shitty seats. So,
yeah.
So yeah, it was fine. I do like some of George Miller's like bypassing over some things and just like we're just getting to the meat of things. Because even though the movie is longer, I felt like than the original movie, like she has this sort of romantic relationship with the man who taught her how to be a person who drives the truck, and she gets like it like glosses over him like at the end and just goes straight to the ending. I was like, you know what? I like it. That's totally what I think. Like, instead of dwelling on the fact that, oh my God, like we're just gonna move on. And that totally feels like very in character. And I like how he stuck to that, because I feel like corporate world would be like, oh my God, your lover. Ah, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, just fine.
I'll probably watch it once it's like free on streaming. I don't know, like I would be up for more desert car chase movie, but I didn't really feel like Furiosa needed a backstory. Like I thought that in Fury Road there was enough little things and hints drops, like I kind of know where she's coming from. I don't need to see her whole childhood and everything. Yeah,
you really didn't. You honestly didn't, because there was anything new in there. I think the real star of the show, honestly, was Chris Hemsworth's character. And he chewed up the scene every time he was on the screen. And that was great, and that was fun to watch, but it wasn't a movie about her. It was a movie then about him. and you're like, well,
Right.
I don't really need this, you know.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Interesting.
So yeah. Also very confused in why. Like, there's a couple things I'm just like, and I won't because it kind of spoils it. But I'm just like, did we forget about that 2 seconds ago? Like,
Yeah.
cool. We're gonna move on. That's great. Like, I'll cut this part out. Cut. But yeah, that was a Furiosa. It was alright. I like the first one better. It's not bad though. It wasn't terrible.
That's good.
What else have you been watching?
So I watched another scary movie called Dead End. This is from 2003. It's a very nice and short one.
Ooh.
It's got a cool cast. It's got Ray Wise and Lynn Shay, who's been in like a whole bunch of horror movies. And it's a family, the parents, son, daughter, and the daughter's boyfriend. And they're going to the in-laws for Christmas Eve dinner. And he decides he's going to take a shortcut. And then on this shortcut, all this weird stuff starts happening. Like at the beginning, they almost get into an accident, and then they start seeing this woman in white on the road, and they pick her up and they take her off, and then bad things start happening, deaths start happening. And it's interesting because the whole movie is basically in the car and just on the road. And then there's one, like, a couple scenes, like, in this little cabin. But it's a very, like, almost single location kind of horror movie. And it's interesting because it's kind of like this family breaking down. Like, as bad things are happening, all of a sudden they're saying what they really feel for the first time. So it's interesting in that way. And just seeing this family kind of break down and be honest with each other for the first time. So I thought it was a lot of fun.
Oh, so it's a story about family.
It's about family, yeah.
And how we should communicate with each other and stop and don't beat around the bush, because you know what? If you wait for that to happen, you're just gonna die. Right?
Yep. And go swimming. And death coming for us all. But you know.
Love that. I love this theme. So as you said, it was from like early 2000s?
Yep.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice. That sounds fun.
Yeah.
And it was nice and short, hour and a half.
Hour and a half. Nice.
Oh,
yeah.
I love that.
Perfect length for a horror movie. Yeah.
Perfect. I don't understand these horror movies that are like more than that. It's just like, stop. We don't need this.
And it also wraps up really fairly cleanly. Like, you maybe need to do like a little bit of mental gymnastics to go like, what just happened? But then it all like, oh yeah, that all makes sense. Which sometimes I find a lot of horror movies at the end, you're like, huh? But
I like, I get, contrary to what we were talking about before, I feel like with horror, give me a nice, crisp, simple ending.
yes. Yeah.
Unless it's in like existential kind of horror.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Then that makes sense. But if we're just like stupid horror, and we know what kind of movies those are, yeah. Give it to me clean, baby.
Exactly. Right. One more thing each. What else did you watch?
So I added this, again, last minute because I'm dumb, but I've been watching lately. This isn't a movie, this is a show. It's called An Idiot Abroad. And this is a British-made television travel show. So by the creators of The Office, so Stephen Merchant and Ricky Gervais, and they're in it for a little bit. And the premise is they have a friend, Kyle. I think his name is Kyle. I don't know. Carl. It started with a K. Whatever. Carl. And I guess Carl used to work them back in the day when they did like a radio show right out of college. And Carl is like pessimistic. All he wants to do is just like sit at home, not do anything. So Steven and Ricky are like, you know what'd be fun? If we send Carl out to do like this is the first season. If we send Carl to go see the 7 Wonders of the World, because he would hate it. And that would make us laugh. So instead of being a travel show about how beautiful things are, it's a travel show about how to make this man miserable and realistic in what he is experiencing when he goes to, for example, the pyramids in Egypt, and how awful, like he's walking down the street and people are just trying to sell him stuff. He's like, I can't walk down the street. I don't know what to do. People keep trying to talk to me and trying to sell me stuff. I'm like, leave me alone. Or like staying at a hostel in Brazil and like going to do like Carnival in Brazil. And he's like, my feet hurt. All these people are screaming at me. Like it's so refreshingly real that you're just like, oh, I love this. It's showing the dirty nitty gritty of like travel, the not sexy part, you know? Like, I mean, we all want the sexy part because, you know, we all want to travel and go to these happy little places. But when you go see the pyramids in Egypt, you're just like, the bullshit's like right there 2 feet away. And you like realize that in this show and you're like, oh my God, I love it. So yeah, that's what I've been watching. It's on YouTube for free.
Oh, okay.
So you don't have to like, you know, pay for anything, I guess, unless you want YouTube Premium. But yeah, highly recommend if you want just like, if you like travel shows, but you want a different perspective for travel shows.
Interesting.
What else have you been watching? This probably, what is this? 5?
Girls 5 Eva.
Sounds like a girl group.
It is. It's a comedy show. It's a Netflix show about this group, Girls 5 Eva, who was really popular in like the early 2000s, like turn of the millennium.
It's a real group? Oh,
no,
okay.
no. And so, you know, they had it big. They had one sort of hit album and then faded off into obscurity. And then this hot new rapper samples one of their songs, and all of a sudden they're back on the radio and they have a chance to make a comeback. So now they're all in their like, you know, mid-30s. One of them died in like a dumb rich celebrity way, so there's only actually 4 of them now, and it's all just about them getting back together and trying to like make a new album, trying to like go out and tour again. And all the characters, there's like the one kind of normal character, and then the other 3 are all different shades of ridiculous. Like, you know, they were a girl band, so they always like were doing stuff with boy bands, and one of the characters would always be doing things, and she's like very clearly a lesbian now. And so sometimes you go to the past and you see her like talking about boys and being like, oh yeah, we like kissing. I like how hard his body is. Like,
love that.
Yeah. And then one of them is just like wants to be the star, and she's very full of herself, and one of them is a bit clueless, and so it just goes on. It's really funny. I think Tina Fey's the executive producer. Like, you can totally tell, like, if you like 30 Rock, this is kind of like the same kind of type of humor there. So it was nice that the seasons were like 6 or 8 episodes, and there was 3 seasons, so like it went by really fast.
Half-hour episodes?
Yeah.
Oh, so quick and easy. Oh my God, that's like an afternoon.
So, it was really funny, and then every episode also has original songs by them, which are all pretty hilarious. And it's just really funny going back, and they all, you know, as adult women now, look at their early 2000s songs and just like how horribly sexist and just terrible all the lyrics are. Yeah.
I actually love recently just putting on, because I don't have like cable or anything, I just have like a Samsung TV, and the Samsung like has their own like guide or whatever. You just have channels, and I've just been watching like the Vivo channel from like the early 2000s and how bad all the music is. It's like a guilty pleasure. I freaking love it. Fun. I didn't know about this one.
Yeah, it was really fun.
I love fun. I love stupid. I love that. Yay.
Yeah, it's quite stupid. Quite stupid.
Well, that's all the things we watch. Now we have to talk about video games after we get a drink.
Drink break.
Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
What did we play, Pam? Oof, God, you kicking my ass again. Because literally, I've only really played one thing. Because the other two things I have on there are things we just like fell off of. So that's the world we live in. Pam.
Yep.
Tell me about things you have been playing, about the boring things you've been playing.
Yes. So I played through Senua's Saga Hellblade 2. And first of all, can I say, the fact that it's not Hellblade 2 Senua's Saga just drives me crazy. Like,
you know what? Yes. I would search for it on Microsoft Word or the Microsoft thing or whatever, and I'd be like, what is the name of this stupid game? Like it says Hellblade. I'm like, it's
yeah, I know. Yeah. So this is a game. I played the first one, which I liked pretty well. It's about this woman, Senua, and she's got some kind of psychosis. She has voices in her head basically all the time. And the first game was kind of a nice story about her working through that. Her lover had been killed. She was trying to get his head or like send his soul off to wherever. And then this one, like, she kind of in a way dealt with her demons, but now she's back again just because I guess her people need her, and she's after like slavers at first, and it's just a strange game where you walk a lot. You walk through barren Nordic landscapes, rocks, fields, caves. You can't tell sometimes when you're playing the game and when you're not playing the game. Like, the graphics are all amazing. Like, you literally cannot tell the difference between a pre-rendered thing and your gameplay, which is technically very impressive. But a lot of the time, like, you'd be playing and then I'd be like, oh, I'm not playing anymore. It's just doing its own thing. And then you'd go back to playing. And so it just seemed like a game where they had a certain amount of dialogue they wanted to say, but they didn't think about what the player was going to be doing during the duration of all of this dialogue going on. So you just do a lot of walking, combat, which I wasn't really a fan of, some not very fun or engaging puzzles. It was just strange. Like, you know, very technically proficient graphics and good motion capture and everything, but nothing was fun. The voices in your head in the first game, like, it was such a novel concept, and you're supposed to wear headphones. It recommends that. And so, like, you could hear them, and it was kind of creepy and weird. This time, like, they didn't have anything that interesting to say. It's usually one of them's like, you can do it, Senua. And then one's like, Senua, you can't give up. And it's like, it's just constant chatter in your ear, which was just kind of more annoying than anything. And yeah, it wasn't a long game. It was only around 5 hours long. There was a couple decent set pieces, but for the most part, it was just like walk and listen to characters chatter at you. So I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all.
I love that you didn't like it, honestly. Because I've heard so many like, oh, it's amazing, this is great, but when I was trying to look for it, I was like thinking about playing at it. I was like, is this a walking sim?
I mean, it's weird because there is combat, there is puzzles, but you're mostly just walking.
Can you die from this combat?
So that's another thing. In this one, dying, you can die, and it's annoying, but it's like very weightless. Like, you just die and you just immediately load back in at like that fight or whatever. Like, there's one of the cooler parts is there's this giant that you have to deal with, and it's like in this volcano, and there's like lava bursts and things. So one of the things is you have to hide, you know, just go and run and like hide behind a rock formation, because then there's a lava burst, and then you have to run to the next one. And so if you die, you just like turn to cinders and then like immediately load back in and just go again. So it's yeah. I mean, I wouldn't want it to be, you know, a bunch of loading or having to go back, but it also just feels like, why is it even possible for me to die when it's like just yeah.
Yeah. If that's good. Yeah. Well, fun. I did not play this game, unfortunately. I was thinking about it and I
Yeah.
decided not to. So I'm kind of glad I
not
did.
recommend it.
I didn't play the first one at all. So I was like, that's where my like logic or my time like guessing myself. I'm like, should I play the first? Honestly, I should probably just play the first one and just call it a day, huh?
Yeah, I would play the first one if you're gonna play any of them. But yeah, the second one, it just felt like I did all this in the first game and it was better in the first game.
Yeah.
And now they're just doing it again because you make sequels to games. Like,
I don't even understand. Wasn't the first one like, I don't know, 12 years ago? I'm making that number up. But like it was a while ago, wasn't it?
I don't think it was that long ago. Like it was on Xbox One. So I don't know, maybe like 7 or 8 years ago.
Really? Wow, hold on. Senua's Sacrifice.
The first one was Senua's
2017. Wow.
Okay, so 7, yeah.
Why does that feel so much more longer ago? Wild. Okay, cool. I'll just play that one.
Yeah.
Fun.
You want to rant about the next one?
Hell yeah, I do. I got to rant about something because you've got 7 more things on your list versus my 1. So, Wednesday night co-op. We have not been doing well lately, kids. I mean, I feel like this is a theme.
Scraping the barrel here.
Really scraping the barrel, throwing money at bullshit, honestly, is the point where we're at, honestly. I mean, we finished Diablo, but then really just out of spite. And we couldn't even finish this one out of spite. So we played Necropolis, which is... You guys know the developer. They made something that you guys liked before.
Harebrained Scheme. They made the new Shadowrun series.
Yes.
They're like tactical RPGs, like CRPGs, which were really good. They made 3 of them, but then this was just
terrible. So you play, I mean, you can pick different characters as 4-player co-op, and I'm not even sure how this game would play not co-op, but you play these like kind of blocky looking gray things, and there's not very much variation between your characters. It's just skins. They all pretty much fight the same. And 4 of us go into, it's a roguelite pretty much, but even though the runs are very long, I think 10 levels total. We got up to 6 on our one run. And you just go through each level, like each level you have to descend down into the next level. So we went down 6 times. And you just get to the elevator, go down, get to the next elevator, go down, just like walking through the same environments, the same monsters, the same everything. And the most annoying part was not only because the co-opness, which I feel like this game is intentionally made to be co-op, was pretty janky. More than half the time, you and or Briz were just like appearing for me. At some
gliding
point,
across, appearing there, falling through the elevator.
Yeah, just total jank. And the fact that it's mostly melee and you can hit I can hit you. There's friendly fire melee. And I'm like,
it's so stupid.
What? So none of us wanted to charge each other. Like, what?
No, like you can lock onto an enemy, but your character, like most of the time you're using a sword or something, and they do like a big swing. So, it's not like you're just jabbing at an enemy. Like if anyone is near you, you're gonna hit them with your sword.
Yes.
Like it's so stupid. So we couldn't fight anything together because we would just kill each other. And then also half of the time we couldn't even tell exactly where the other players were. So we would just kill each other.
You just kill each other constantly. It was so janky. It was so broken. It was so annoying. Not having to be able to help each other just gang up on monsters, because that's what you do in co-op in order to succeed. Like, I want to be able to charge at things head first and just tackle everything together. No, we can't do that. And every movement is slow and awful. It's not like Elden Ring or something where you can dodge. There's no dodging. It's like the inputs. Like, okay, so Dark Souls kind of made it
it was like, you know, if you push the attack button 3 times, it's going to attack 3 times, even if you really only wanted to attack twice, which is like a thing I've had to learn. But in this, it was ridiculous. Like if you press the attack button 3 times, even if you got knocked down or died and got rezzed, you would get back up and you would swing that 3rd attack. Like,
yes, that was the worst when you died and you're res, and then I just swung my sword and hit you, and I'm like, I swear to God, I didn't do that.
I haven't touched my controller. Yeah,
swear.
It was very silly. Yeah, it was just, I don't know. Even if the technical things had been fixed, it was just very samey. Just like the sluggish character attacks. Eventually, like I think the last level we got to, it started looking more swampy than whatever it was looking before. But like that, you know, there's not much of a difference. It's confused. The levels are confusing because everything looks the same. Like we got really lost because between each level, there's like this room you get to with an elevator and then a bunch of nonsense. And then up here, there's a little shop, but it's the exact same room between every level. So the second, like when we got to level 2 and we found that room again, we're like, oh, this is where we started. We must be in the wrong spot. No, it was just the exact same level that we needed to use again. So
yeah. It was terrible. Very haphazard. Did not like it. Dropped that and uninstalled it immediately. No dice.
It got one night, so
yeah. No
not
dice.
Fun.
No. What else have you been playing? Hopefully better than that, huh?
Yes. So the next one I played is Still Wakes the Deep. This is another new game. It's also kind of walking sim like. It's sort of like a horror survival game, but a lot of it's just walking. You are on a oil rig off the coast of Scotland, and everything's super Scottish. Like everyone just very Scottish accent, Scottish slang. You have a family back at home, but I think you got charged with assault, and you're kind of have gone to this oil rig to try not to go to jail. So you're trying to hide, make some money, and then something bad happens. They're drilling. They're like, oh, I don't know what this thing is. Fuck it, let's drill through it.
It's fine. It's fine.
Not a good idea. And then the rig starts being taken over by this weird creature presence who's sort of taking over people on the ship. And so your character is going through having to... He's basically trying to save himself, trying to save the rig. Like, there's always something going wrong. People will call him and be like, oh, the generators are going out. Can you go and fix the generators? Or, oh no, we're sinking. We have to deploy the buoys or whatever the hell it is that keeps the rig from sinking. So you're basically just doing all this, occasionally having to hide or stealth around to get away from a monster, throw things to distract it. There's like a little bit of light... Not platforming, because it's kind of QTEs, but you'll have to like run and make a jump and like grab something, and then maybe you get knocked off and you need to like press a button to steady yourself, like that kind of stuff. So it was interesting. It has a very good atmosphere. Like the looks of it, like it all felt very like just like the sense of like wet and cold and wind as you're outside on this rig in the middle of the ocean, like was very palpable. So it was all really done that way. The writing was very good. All the voice acting was very good. The gameplay was, I think, entertaining enough for what it was trying to do, like way more entertaining than Hellblade 2. Some people have complained that it's a very linear game, like you're not really exploring. I know for certain if I had to wander around trying to find out things and trying to hide from monsters, I would have liked the game way, 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 way less. So I was happy for the linearity.
Oh my God, why is it now games, if it's not open worldy in a sense, then why is it bad? Why is that bad? Sometimes I want linear. I don't want to wander around, which is kind of one of my things about Elden Ring, is like, It's too much. Like, just let me just go to one thing. I want to go to one thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I will explore this one castle. Don't make me explore the whole fucking world.
Mm-hmm. So is the thing that they drill into, do they release Cthulhu?
It's not Cthulhu. I was reminded, like, as we were going, I was thinking like Color Out of Space kind of thing, like kind of unknowable, weird monster, but it also starts like taking over other crew members.
Ooh, like the thing.
So, yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, it was good. I enjoyed that one.
Yay, that's good. I'm glad. Was it a long one or a short one?
No, it was like 4 or 5 hours.
Yes, please. Oh my God.
Exactly. Yeah, I liked it.
Yay. Well, we liked this next one way less.
Well, it was mostly technical issues. It was like, all right.
It was fine.
I thought it was, it was fine.
So another Wednesday night catastrophe was Mercenary Kings, which it's not on Game Pass. We paid for this one too.
Yeah.
It is a kind of like, it reminded me of like Guns, Gore, Cannoli, where it's like a 2D kind of shooter.
Yeah, it's like a run and gun.
Run and
shooter.
gun. Yes, that's the word I was looking for. Run and gun. Where you play 4 different characters who need to be looking very different, I feel like, because, or maybe, I don't know. But just 4 different characters. You have a hub space, and you can upgrade and such with materials you find in the world, and you go on your missions. You kill snipers, or you rescue people, or you find particular items, depending upon what it is. It was fine. It was like, we can do this. We can handle this. Like, this is great. It's very simple, cartoonish animations, but it played well. We each had separate cameras that focused in on us, so we weren't like, we could.
Yes, I loved that you could go, like, we could all spread out. If there's 8 hostages to rescue, we could all just be like, all right, see ya, and go to our own separate corners of the map, and it would be fine.
Yes. And
it wouldn't just follow one person around.
Yes, and the maps were pretty big, I feel like, and it was so nice because the map actually showed like, hey, this is where they're at. You need to go here. I'm like, all right, Pam goes to upper left. I go to the lower right. Everybody just goes their own thing. And there was no issue until we get to an actual level that progressed the story and we hit a boss. And all of a sudden, everything just died.
Everything, it just breaks. Yeah, like, we're not seeing where each other actually is. Some people are already on a game over screen while someone's fighting the boss. Someone's like, I'm fighting the boss over here. And someone else is like, no, I'm fighting the boss over here.
Yes.
Like, and someone's like, I died. It's like, what do you mean you died? You're fighting the boss with me.
And it was like a delay almost. Like, I don't know what it was. Like, and it transitioned. Once we hit that level, it transitioned even into the hub world. Because we would run around and I'd be like, yo, who's not on the platform ready to go? And everyone's like, we're all here. But then you'd see characters running around like it was a delay. And it's like, what is happening? So then after, like, I don't know, 5 minutes or a minute or wherever it is, they finally catches up to you and you get into the level. The delay still continued even through the replays of the level. So it's like something about hitting a boss just like broke the game. And it sucks because it feels like, again, this is an intentional online co-op game. Like, the whole purpose, I feel like, is to play this online co-op. Fucking fix it. I don't understand.
Yeah, make it work.
Yeah.
Actually, it started bad because at first I could never get into the level with you guys. Like, I would just, I don't know. I am kind of thinking maybe this Wednesday, just like give it a try with someone else as a host or something, see if it can get any better. Just try that one mission again. But it was just so broken. Like, we all like restarted our games, started a new session, still broken. Like,
broke. And it's very disappointing because I mean, like, I understand like games are not going to be perfect. I actually kind of like Jake sometimes, you know what I mean? But it has to function. Make it so you can progress. at least. You can't. We can't progress unless we do beat this boss.
This mission, yeah.
Yeah, and we can't beat them if somebody is dead but not really dead. You know, like that doesn't. Come on, let's go. Let's go here, kids.
Yeah,
but we'll try. We'll try again this Wednesday. We gotta give it.
Yeah.
You know, the good old college try before we really just give it up, I guess, but it's fine.
Give up, and because then we have to find something else. It's so hard.
It's so hard. Why isn't there not 4-player co-op? I just want 4-player co-op. I mean, like, why can't there be more games like Remnant? Just make Remnant 2, because we started playing that, and I loved playing it with you guys because Briz had like nighttime shifts or whatever.
Yeah.
And we just need to play that with 4 players.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else have you been playing, Pam? Or point and clicks? Point and drinks?
Yeah, so the last game I played on my Sunday adventure stream was Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, the graphic adventure.
Yay.
Which is a game I played as a kid. It was one of the ones in my big Lucasfilm Games bundle. And I also loved the movie as a kid. And so have you played this one?
No.
Or did you watch any of the stream?
I watched you play some of the stream of it, and I thought it was adorable. Very close to the movie.
Yes. It's so close to the movie. Like, it starts out in the university, and he's just come back, and he's got the Cross of Coronado that, you know, he lost as a kid when he started. And then he gets a package from his father, and it's his Grail diary. And then some guy was like, I need you to find the Grail diary. And then he goes to Venice, and then he ends up in Germany in a Nazi castle. Like, there's scenes that are just directly from the movie, and it works out really well. And also it works out well because the movie is so sort of puzzly. Like, Indiana Jones is kind of like a puzzly movie, so it works really well turning it into a point and click adventure game. So it's neat. The writing is all really good. A lot of the time, like, at the same time, most frustrating but also kind of coolest parts is you are in this Nazi castle in Germany, and you have to go through, and you keep running into guards, and you have to figure out how to handle them. So, like, some you can be like, I'm Gestapo, I'm here on business. Do you have clearance to know what I'm doing? Then fuck you can't know what I'm doing. And so some guards will take that, and then others will be like, hey, you want a drink? And they'll get drunk. Or, like, you can threaten them, or you can, like, be buddies with them. And so it is very trial and error-y in that way, but it's also pretty interesting. This is the year before The Secret of Monkey Island came out, and which is when LucasArts decided, hey, you know what would be good? If players couldn't really die and couldn't get themselves stuck by missing things. So in this one, so I played it on stream, and I got to the castle, and I got frustrated, and I looked up a walkthrough, and it's like, oh, give this guard the painting. I was like, what painting? I don't have a painting. And I realized at the beginning of the game, you could have gone to Indy's dad's house, and I hadn't. I had just flown right to Vienna, so I missed a whole bunch of stuff in Indy's dad's house. Also, in the library, there's, like, books, how to fly a biplane, a copy of Mein Kampf, a map of the sewers, and I just missed all of that. So yeah, there's a bunch of stuff where if you miss it or you do it wrong, it'll just become infinitely more difficult.
Can you backtrack and, like, go to those places?
No.
Oh, well,
you can't
fuck
backtrack. and like, for a lot of it, if you fail an encounter, like if you don't talk your way out of it, it turns into a fist fight.
Oh, God.
So you can fist fight, and, like, I can get through, like, a fist fight or two, but your health doesn't regenerate between them. So, like, you can only get into so many fist fights before you're just stuck because someone's just gonna punch you once and you're gonna die. So yeah, it was pretty annoying that way. Like, if you have a walkthrough and you're not missing anything, it's like, oh, this is a really cool game, but there's a lot of stuff where you can just fuck yourself over by missing something early in the game.
So when you fucked yourself over did you just restart the whole thing just to do it all over again?
Yeah, I just restarted it and got all that stuff from the beginning.
I gotta the leveled games and the bullshit.
Yeah, I'm not tired of that. Like, even like all the King's Quest, I was never a huge King's Quest fan because they were all like that. The Sierra games in particular were always like that. I played a Leisure Suit Larry. I remember getting so mad. I got to the end and it's like, you didn't pick up an air sick bag from an airplane. Game over. And I was like, I'm never playing this again.
Fuck you.
So, yes, I'm very happy that, adventure games got more casual friendly and time friendly.
Yes.
Generally.
Yeah, I think that's what kind of pissed me off. I mean, I played Monkey Island a lot, all the Monkey Islands, except for the fourth one and beyond. But like, I think that's kind of what turned me off because I was so afraid. I was like petrified of like missing and just like get like nervous, like So the stress was too high. So I actually haven't played very many point and click adventure games, even though it's pretty much the premise of our podcast. But it's fine.
That's fine.
It's fine. It's fine. But yeah, I'm glad you liked it and you beat it and you beat it on stream. That's fantastic.
I beat it on stream. Yes, first time in like, I don't know, 30 years or something. So
hell yeah.
So what have you been spending
all
most
of my
your
time
on?
all of my time.
Yeah.
No, not most of my time, all of my time.
All of your time.
All
okay.
of my time. All right, so I've been playing the Elden Ring DLC, Shadows of the Air Tree. And I did another run through of Elden Ring recently where I'm a mage and I focus this bitch on fucking being a mage. Like I am 100%, all of my stuff is into intelligence and mind so I can, cast these fucking spells. I put nothing else in anything else. And so when I beat Elden Ring for the second time, it was like 60 hours in, which I thought that was impressive. Let's be real, 60. I beelined that fucking bullshit. And I was like a level 100-ish. I forget whatever I was. And that's whatever. This DLC, like, okay, because everybody was anticipating the DLC. I was kind of like thinking it was going to be like the Dark Souls 3 DLC where it was like 10 hours, Good old Jean through the fucking woods of bullshit and where it's just like invisible people throw bullshit at you and you just beeline it all the way up to, snowfields and just beeline it to like the end and you fight one of the best battles I've ever played, like boss battles, which is still my favorite boss battle in any of these Souls games was the Gale in Dark Souls 3 DLC. This bitch, I was at 60 hours. I'm now at like 120. So I've been playing nothing but fucking the DLC, which feels like, I think I read somewhere or heard somewhere that this is like 60 to 70% of the main game is this DLC.
Oh, Jesus.
It's fucking huge. So much stuff. Now, granted, I'm having a great time. I'm having a fun little jaunt. I feel like a better gamer doing through this thing. It's at least a better Souls player now than when I first played Elden Ring, which was my first Souls game when I played it when it first came out. It's a great expansion. It's too big. Why is it so much? I am losing my mind. I'm at the final boss. And okay, so we definitely have to talk about the hot take of, is this game too hard? Is a DLC too hard? Oh my god, we all want Bappy games. Like, it's a fucking Souls game. Of course it's fucking hard. Now, is this DLC harder than any other DLC? I don't know. I think what makes it more difficult, at least for me, is they really need to balance out the co-op. Because I would have never been able to co-op the DLC in Dark Souls 3. Or not single-playered the DLC Dark Souls 3. Ever. Because that's bullshit. Is some serious bullshit. But this, they make it very difficult to co-op bosses. Because the
oh, really?
Yes. The HP of these bosses goes like up.
Oh.
So high. And so like some of the bosses, I'd be like playing with Johnny. He's like, hey, just try this on your own because it's going to be way too hard if you summon me in there. And it's true. It gets way too hard. It's much easier by myself with my stupid fucking dumbass mimic tier. And yeah, that's no fun. Fucking fix that.
That's no fun.
That's no fun.
I hate that. Like on Diablo, everything was fucking took a age to die with 4 people. When I went by myself, it was like, oh, everything's just dropping like
fucking
nonsense.
flies. Like, oh, that sucks. Like, I feel like, I mean, like Dark Souls, like these games, Elden Ring in particular, I mean, like I feel like they promote co-op. They promote you to like summon all these things and bullshit. Like, I'm not one of those Souls players. I'm like, oh my God, I can't not do my mimic tier and summon. I'm going to summon all the bullshit. All right. I want all the fucking help I can get. But let's not make it like, it definitely increased the HP when we were co-op in Elden Ring, you know? But it wasn't like exhausting. This is exhausting. Yeah. And maybe because it's the difficulty of the bosses, it is more difficult, but it feels so hindering if you want to co-op. And that's my biggest gripe is I want to be able to co-op with these in these games because that's what's fun. You know?
I mean, I feel like the games aren't even really built around co-op. It's built around like, hey, come help me with this boss fight. Like even when we did play Elden Ring co-op, it was still like, oh, we died, have to resummon everyone and do all this bullshit. Like, can we just fucking be in the same game until we leave? Like,
yes. God, I would love that if they'd actually did that for a Souls game, but that, I don't know. They're just like, it's put their foot in the sand, be like, I'm not moving. Like, oh, fuck off, all right? But yeah, the boss battles are definitely harder. I was actually pretty proud of myself because people have been complaining online about Mesmer a lot, and I beat Mesmer after like 5 tries. I was like, oh, who am I?
Look at you.
What is happening? Like, I still haven't beat Millennia yet, but I beat fucking Mesmer. And I was like, I'm a pro. I'm a pro. It's fine. It's fine. But I'm at the final boss at the DLC. So I haven't given it a concerted or a real college try yet for that yet, but we'll get there. But I just won't be able to co-op it because the HP is just too fucking high, which makes me very sad. And it's too big.
I hope it's less shitty of a boss than fucking Elden Beast, which is like literally, I put it on very like barely above Bed of Chaos. I fucking hate Elden Beast.
That fucking bitch. Apparently now you can actually use the horsey dude, torrent in that fight.
That's what it seemed like it should have been the whole time. Like, why would that area have been so big?
I don't know.
Like,
I just have to run constantly. Like, you spent half the battle running to the fucking thing.
Running after it, and then it just fucking dives down again. It's like, oh.
Wow. It's like, really? Like, come on. It's like just running, go back for running. And then it sucks because that's a second phase. So you have to, like, if you died, gotta fight Radigan all fucking over again. I'm just like, I hate you. Like, I get it. We're souls. We're hard. But really? It's too far. It's too far. It's too far. Let me use Horsey Boy. You can actually use Horsey Boy a lot in the DLC in boss battles. So that's nice, but I hate using Horsey Boy in most of the time because I'm a magic caster and I'm just like, I'm terrible. I'm just like running around in circles just going, and it's just going over there. It's a little fucking worse. But yeah, I mean, I love it because I think Souls games are fun. In a weird way, you know, like I really enjoy this genre of games, but good Lord, let me co-op better.
Yeah.
So that's my soapbox. I'm going to sit on it. I don't think it's too hard. I just want to co-op.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all I want in life. And for it to be condensed down, it's so big. It's so fucking big, Bam. Don't play it. You're going to hate it. I'm
not going to.
Fucking hate it.
I am still sick of Elden Ring from when I beat it 2 years ago. I'm like, no, I don't need more. Thank you. Like, I'm good.
It's huge. It's so many things you can just miss because it's like a little hole in the thing and you're the thing. I was like, oh my God, why do I like honestly, I just want to play Dark Souls 3 again. I'm like, I just miss the linearness of it.
I love Dark Souls 3. I love Dark Souls 3. I actually should go back. I got knocked off of the fucking rafters and
Yes. Yeah, I know where you're talking about.
Yes.
Girl, co-op.
I got knocked off, and then I was like, I turned it off, and I didn't turn it on. It's been like 3 months.
Yeah, that sounds about right. That part's bullshit too. The only way I could do that part
and
was
Orlando.
co-op.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, and Orlando, because those big bitches with their big fucking bows was the only part. I think Vyar co-opted with me. He's like, we're gonna go through this and just be bullshit, and he was just bait. I'm like, yes, be my bait. Yes. I love this.
Yeah.
But yeah, what is the Wait, is this horror game, The Last Faith?
It's a Metroidvania.
Okay, not that. I'm thinking a completely different thing.
No.
Okay.
So this is a Metroidvania. It came out at the end of last year. Mm-hmm. It visually looks a lot like Blasphemous, which is one of my favorite Metroidvanias ever. Blasphemous is like a Spanish Catholic thing. This is not Spanish. It's just kind of like a Gothic kind of generally religious theme. Maybe, but so this is, you are this dude, you've got, it's very Souls-like, like in gameplay, in tone. You are this guy, you're infected by this Nicrux, which is basically like Souls. So you kill things, you get Nicrux, you can use it to level up your stats. Again, it's very Souls-like, like your strength, your dexterity, your intellect, or whatever. You can also use it to buy things and upgrade your weapons. So I played like a magey character. You get this whip at the beginning, and there's tons of weapons in the game. There's just the one whip. So I used this whip I got at the beginning of the game for the entire game, but it just had like this nice range on it. And then I cast spells, and the spells are really cool. Apparently, strength is actually the way to go. Like, strength is just way more powerful than anything else. But I was like, no, I like my whip and my spells. I'm gonna play the game like this. So it's really fun. It's got a great map, a ton of secrets, a ton of breakable walls with shit to find behind them. Really fun boss fights. I found them like just the right amount of challenging. Like, they all took me, for the most part, like a handful of attempts, like a good like 5-6 attempts each, which I feel like is a good like sweet spot where it doesn't feel too easy, but it doesn't feel like you're bashing your head against a wall. Just really nice pixel graphics that are very layered. Like, every environment has like multiple layers of depth to it. Every enemy has a unique execution move that you can do if you get it down to a certain point, like ripping their wings off, or if it's a character with a gun, you like take their gun and you hit them and then you shoot them. Like, it's really cool. Yeah. So I really liked it. It took me about an hour to get into it, and then I just like got completely into it. I got to 100% before I even went to the last boss. Like, I just was like, yes, I love this game.
Wow, really?
Mm-hmm. I think I put like 30 hours into it. So yeah, it was really good.
You know what makes me sad, Pam? I've been playing like, I don't know, 50 hours of Elden Ring. You played 30 hours of this and this other stuff.
Yep. And I think I've got like 13 games in my playing right now on Groovy. It's ridiculous.
Wow. So you highly recommend Last Faith, huh? Did you play this on Xbox?
Yep. I think it's on everything. Maybe not. Probably Switch, but like it's on PlayStation. It's on PC. Yeah, it's good. I think Johnny was playing it too.
Was he?
Yeah, and Dylan's playing it. Dylan was ahead of me, and he like stopped so I could catch up.
And then you just destroyed.
Yeah.
And you just destroyed. You're like, fuck you.
Well, I got ahead of him, and I waited for a couple days, and he wasn't picking it back up, and I was like, okay.
Go on, bitch. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Don't need you no more. Bye-bye.
Yeah. But I really, really liked it.
Nice. Are you going to do a review on it?
No, because I didn't record any of my footage.
That's okay. Sometimes it's better that way. Just enjoy the game to enjoy the game.
Yeah, just enjoy it. Don't worry about capturing stuff and writing notes and just like, no, it's nice to just like play a game and be like, yeah, I love this. I don't want to, well, I mean, I do share what I thought afterwards, but like not in a super structured way.
Yeah. Where you have your video recordings and all stuff. And yeah. Cool. I love that kind of setting though. The like gothic religious way. Although when you said it reminds you of Blasphemous and the Inquisition. I was like, the Inquisition.
The Inquisition. Let's begin the Inquisition.
Look out, Sam.
We have a mission to convert the Jews.
The Inquisition. That's what I think of. That's what I would be singing the whole time playing it. Even though it probably is not that era, I don't care.
Yeah, but it's good.
Yay!
Yeah. That's all for games.
Oh my God, we did it. We did all the games. I have pickups. Pam, do you have pickups?
I have no pickups at all.
Oh my God. Okay, so backstory. I attend every year Too Many Games, which is a not small, it's actually pretty big now, convention in north of Philly. It says it's in Philadelphia, which is bullshit because like don't listen to that advertising.
Absolutely not in Philadelphia.
It's absolutely not in Philadelphia. It's north of Philly. It's like closer to King of Prussia, which is this huge mall. And I go to this every year because my sister works at a retro video game store and they have a stand there at Too Many Games every year. And so I help out just picking up boxes and putting video games out and help setting up, and I help sell a little bit. Like I'm not obligated to, but if I like want to escape the crowds on the floor, I just go to their stand, hide out in the back, and just be like, "Yo, dudes, what's up?" And the guys be like, "Do you have this?" And I'm like, "Let's find out." Because I remember pulling the box, but I don't know what's here. Nobody knows what's actually there, like because you have thousands of games. Anyhow, so. Mostly because I help, because I get a vendor pass, and that allows me to leave and enter anytime I please, which is fucking amazing. Like, I highly recommend vendoring at cons and getting vendor passes, because it's the only way to live. So, anyhow, went to Too Many Games and picked up before the place opened a couple things I actually picked up at Too Many Games, because there's two of them. One, so I pre-ordered this, which is the Super Metroid soundtrack. Trying not to get a glare. There we go. Super Metroid soundtrack on Amazon, and it canceled it on me because they said, oh no, we can't supply this. I'm like, fuck you. So a stand, Just Press Play, which is based out of Lancaster, PA, had it, and I was like, fantastic, I got canceled. So here we go. Love the art on this. The music is Super Metroid. So what can you...
And that person, Sam and Jam Miller, they did the Donkey Kong soundtracks, and they basically, like, it's the soundtrack, except they completely, like, re-engineered it and recreated it with, like, it is really, like, it's just top quality sound.
Yeah, I mean, I played it, a bit of it, and it's like, yeah, it sounds really good. It's just, it sounds like Super Metroid. It's like, what more could you ask for? And the art is great. Mine's just basic bitch black, so we won't get into that. That's fine. Other thing I got at Too Many Games, I'm gonna take the plastic off now, is this distributor or vinyl press people. They're called Respawn. And this is Melancholy Music by TRP, World of Ruin. So this is all Final Fantasy VI music that is like melodramatic and sad. And it has like Terra and Kefka. Not Terra. Yeah, not Terra. Terra. And they have, I really like their vinyls. I've got Fun Pink.
Ooh,
it's very pretty. And it's just some nice kind of like orchestrated Final Fantasy VI music. And they have a really nice stand at Too Many Games, and they have really nice pressings of kind of that lo-fi, and or like they actually had a GoldenEye there at their stand, and Metal Gear Solid and such. So really, really cool things. Two more. I haven't even opened this. Oh my God. Outside of Too Many Games, I actually went to a vinyl shop in Kutztown, Pennsylvania, where I actually had a celebrity sighting. Oh my God. Not at the vinyl store, which I'll tell the story in a second. But I got Donkey Kong Country 2. Oh my God, it's so fucking shiny. Look at this.
It's so shiny.
This is Donkey Kong Country 2 Lo-Fi Diddy's Conquest. And I haven't even opened it yet. So it's just super shiny. It's kind of like got that weird gloss to it. But it's Donkey Kong Country 2. I was like, I love Donkey Kong Country. So got that. And then the last one I got, because it was 25% off, was Final Fantasy Star 4 on vinyl at the vinyl shop. So yeah, I was in Kutztown, Pennsylvania. I went to this tiny little farmer's market, which is very common here. They're like indoor farmer's markets. Most of them are like shit. Not I don't want to say shitty, but they're like 50 years old, and they just have like a lot of times Amish vendors, or you can find really cheap vegetables, cheap meats and stuff, local vendors, small town stuff. We were there because my dad wanted to go to the candy vendor because he's on the hunt for jujubes because they've been discontinued. Okay. And yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so Jujubee's been discontinued, so he got some really shitty black licorice gum, which I absolutely hate, but he loves. And so I'm standing there, just looking at the candy, and walk by me is Carson Kressley from RuPaul's Drag Race. And I was like, my mouth must have been just like on the floor, because he walked by with an older lady, and he was like carrying stuff, just talking, walked by, and I went, like that, like what the fuck? And the woman across the way who was at the butcher stand, she goes, oh yeah, that was him. I didn't say anything. She was just like, yep, that was him. I was like, what? And she's like, yeah, he lives in this area, so he's here all the time. I was like, okay. Like the most random place. Like it's a tiny farm market. Like it was sweaty, it was hot. It's like not the sexiest place in the world, but I love those kind of markets, because they're local place and whatever. And I was like, well, that's cool. And then I walked by him again. We brushed shoulders. We brushed shoulders. That was my big celebrity sighting at like Kutztown, Pennsylvania. So random, but I loved it. I was like, cool. I didn't say hi because I'm not one of those people. Like he was just like, hey, doing something with flowers or something.
Doing his own thing.
Doing his own thing. I was like, that's really cool. I got to see you. You look great in person. And I'm happy. That's it. So yeah.
Awesome.
That's an episode.
Fun. Yeah. We're done.
We did. I have my stories told about TMG, told about Carson Kressley. Oh my goodness. Yep. I have to go back there now. I'm going to go back there all the time to go hunt him down. No,
all the time. Just see him.
Just kidding.
What's he doing? What's he wearing?
Oh my God. He was like wearing a hat. I was like, what? He's wearing a hat? But yeah. If you ever go to TMG, not you, people, say hello because I'm always there next year.
Oh, it's Oaks, Pennsylvania.
Oaks, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Which kind of sucks because there's no like good hotels like right next to the convention center.
No, that's why it's the best show if you want video games because there's just like so many game vendors. But yeah, the hotels are so far away from the convention center.
Yeah, it sucks because like all I want to do is walk to my hotel, take a break, then walk back. Because like Saturday was fucking bonkers. It was so fucking crowded on the show floor. I just sat back with my sister at the booth and was like, I'm not fucking going out there. This is like fucking insane. Like I'm just not doing this. So yeah.
Yeah, that's why I like Retro World because the hotel's right there. I mean, technically it's like that at MagFest, but who the fuck gets a hotel room? Who can get a hotel room at MagFest?
Apparently also at Retro World because now those rooms have been sold out and they've been sold out for over a month. Yeah, they've been sold out for over a month. Not that we couldn't go this year because I'm actually going to go visit Pam during that time. But still, they were sold out because I checked and I was like, oh. And then I confirmed with our friend Dan. He's like, yeah, we've been sold out. I'm like, okay.
Oh,
cool.
Interesting.
Nice. Not going to that then, because if I can't just walk up to my hotel room, I ain't gonna fucking do it.
Nope.
Just have to see me out in the wild like Carson Kressley. But thank you everyone for listening. If you want to talk to us, let us know what you've been playing and or celebrity sightings or pickups or all that kind of crap. Did you see me at TMG? Let me know. And whatever. Leave us a comment on their YouTubes. We also have a subreddit, which is r/polymedia, even though I'm terrible at posting it. Pam's always better posting on it, but it's fine. Just leave us a comment on the YouTubes because it's better. But yeah.
Yeah. And if you like what you heard here and you want to hear more, you can check out some more fun podcasts at polymedianetwork.com. We got podcasts on more video games. We got movie podcasts. We got Goosebumps podcasts. We got indie games. We got horror movies. We got
more movies.
I don't know. Some more movies, more video game stories. Yeah, a lot of podcasts.
Apparently we really like video games, Pam.
I think so.
So. It's funny. But yes, drink well, my friends. If my empty drink.
Yes, mine is empty too. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.